Flimsitarian. This is my final artifact for my social problem portfolio for Professor Young at Pima Community College, summer 2024. All of my sources can be found in my final document for my social problems portfolio uploaded to D2L. The topic I chose to focus on off of the list for the class was homelessness. This is a really broad topic which covers a lot of instances and intersections of social problems, not only in America but internationally as well. A lot of the things that affect people's proclivity to become homeless include race, sex, class, as well as adverse childhood experiences and trauma, which can lead to higher instances of drug addiction and mental health problems. Nationally, the United States has seen a 12% increase of homelessness since 2020. Statewide, in Arizona, there has been a 29% increase in homelessness, which includes a 73% increase in unhoused homelessness. Unhoused homelessness is people who are not staying in a home of a relative or a shelter or another housing situation such as this. They're either sleeping outside or in abandoned buildings and other such situations like that. One instance of how you can see how race affects one's chances of becoming homeless is, for example, in the state of Arizona, while the African American population is only 14.2% of the total population, it makes up 22% of the homeless population. What we're going to be focusing on, though, is how real estate investment trust companies affect local housing markets and what that means for people. Real estate investment trusts were approved by Congress in 1960. They generally tended to focus more on commercial markets. Being backed by large investors, they had capital to invest in larger properties and larger amounts of property, which made them fit for a commercial market. They've, in the last couple of decades, have become more active in the single-family housing market. This is due to a couple of historical events which have happened since 2000, one of which was the financial crisis of 2008, which led to a large amount of foreclosures and evictions of homes, which then became on the market. Nearly 8 million homes were foreclosed on in the 2008 financial crisis. This, in conjunction with new cloud information technologies and ways to keep tracks of larger portfolios, increased the real estate investment trust companies' activity in the single-family housing market, because there were so many homes that were up for sale that they were then able to go to foreclosure auctions, often with cash offers backed by investors, with the ability to take the risk because they have the backing capital and are able to outbid single families or individuals who are trying to buy a home for the first time. They often work on a buy-to-rent model, which means that they buy homes that were previously on the market, which could have been bought by private people, and they turn them into rental properties. This enables them to continue to fund other conquests into investment by having the income from the rental properties, making sure there's both profit for their investors and the capital to continue investing into more properties. This gives them an advantage significantly over a person who might have bad credit because maybe their house was foreclosed on in 2008, or they have not good credit because they're young, and other such instances like that. When these companies end up renting out property You have to have proof of income, which is 3 times the amount of rent. You also have to have a credit score, which they deem worth taking a risk on you as a tenant. What this does to working class people who are often underemployed and working for minimum wage is this bars them up from entry into even signing a lease often. The houses, which are then bought to rent by investment companies, are marketed to middle and upper class portions of the population, which then also furthers working class people's ability to access affordable housing. These investment companies often focus on up-and-coming cities that are developing at a rapid rate, including cities like Phoenix, which in 2023 saw nearly 20% of its new home purchases made by real estate investment trusts and other such entities. How this affects people is it creates a harder environment not only to maintain housing, but it also creates higher bars of entry for people to re-enter housing after they have experienced short-term or long-term homelessness, because not all homelessness is chronic. Not all people are homeless all the time. Some people experience short amounts of homelessness due to unemployment or family tragedy or a landlord selling a property. And in these instances, with less houses on the market that would potentially be available for individuals to purchase, this often bars people the ability to gain financial independence from having the investment of owning a home. And while I do not know what to do about either of these social issues, I do know that homelessness is still an issue, and particularly in the state of Arizona, where for multiple seasons out of the year, the weather conditions can be deadly. I would encourage people to look for ways that they can volunteer and outreach with these marginalized populations in ways that can help alleviate some of the stress while they are experiencing homelessness. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope that some of this information was helpful in understanding the complex social problem that is homelessness. To gain a more holistic understanding that not all homelessness is due to personal shortcomings. There are structural and systematic influences that cause people to become homeless outside of their control.